Welcome to the Depot Sports Chat. I'm Drew Rubenstein with Kristin, Kurelic, and Kristin. Let's take a look at the area games for Week 4 of the prep football season, starting off with the game of the week, area-wise, and probably one of the top games in the state, University High at Wheeling Park. Two undefeated teams, a lot riding on the line for conference standpoint, playoff implications, all that stuff. So what should fans expect in this battle of the unbeatens?
Fans should expect an exciting matchup. Like you said, this is a game that has a lot of implications for the track conference, for playoff rankings, possibly a home playoff game to start out with. And these are two exciting teams, lots of playmakers on both sides, so it really should just be a thrilling high school football game.
For University High, they're undefeated. They've played 3 opponents that they've just overmatched. That said, they haven't always looked real pretty in their victories. They've had some errors, penalties, unforced turnovers. Do you feel like they've cleaned those up, or is this a game that we're actually going to see how far they've come?
That's true. The Hawks have had some fumbles, some interceptions. They have not been perfect. However, this is a university team that this year, last year, these players, this group of seniors, they kind of rise to the occasion. They kind of play with the level of opponent that they're facing, and they kind of embrace the sort of underdog role more than going in against a team that they know that they're going to beat. So I would look for University to kind of cut down on those errors this week and step up in that regard.
John Kelly's obviously hoping for that. Going around to the other team, Morgantown High, they're back at home tonight, hosting the second of 3 out-of-state teams. This one is McKinley Tech from Washington, D.C. By all indications, McKinley Tech's not exactly a juggernaut. The Mohegans may not have that much of an issue, but let's maybe look at it this way for the Mohegans. It's 3 weeks into the season. Chazzy Thomas has obviously recovered well from his leg injury. Has he been the most impressive Mohegan to date, or would you give that honor to somebody else at this point?
You know, I guess if you're going to say most impressive, Chazzy probably has been. If you look at what he's done statistically, he's up there with 12 touchdowns and 600 and some yards of offense in essentially 3 halves of football. And he is potentially one of the front runners for the Kennedy Award this year. However, there are some other guys on the MHS team that have been impressive. We talk about Ethan Goldkamp, the quarterback, who coming into the season was kind of the question mark for Morgantown. How is he going to do? And he was almost perfect last week. He completed 12 of 13 passes, threw 3 touchdowns, and really has done surprisingly, well, maybe not surprisingly, but over exceeded.
Sure, absolutely, being his first year and everything, like you said. Also with the Mohegans, a week away from a showdown against Martinsburg. Is this game kind of a tune-up for MHS, preparing for that one?
Yeah, I would think so. And so far, Morgantown, as the weeks have gone on, they've added little things here and there into their offense. We started out the first week with Stone Wolfley, the big tight end who's committed to WVU. He didn't even have a catch, didn't even have a ball thrown towards him. Well, you know, as the weeks progressed, he then had 6 catches, 2 touchdowns, a whole bunch of yards last week, and they just keep adding little wrinkles, and I would look for them to do that some more this week heading into that big showdown with Martinsburg.
Looking at the other area games tonight, Clay-Battelle and 100 will not play. That game got canceled because the Hornets didn't have enough players. And the last game we'll take a look at is Preston at home against Elkins. 2 teams still looking for their first win. What should we expect out of this one?
Yeah, I would just expect maybe these teams haven't had the prettiest season so far. They're coming in struggling, and just look for who's going to take a stand and who's going to. Both these teams have given up a lot of points, and who's going to step up defensively. And I would honestly give maybe a little bit of edge to Preston, just because it is a home game for them. They are really anxious, I think, for that win. And they do have a lot more players on their roster than Elkins, and they are in good shape. They've had a tough conditioning program, so I would maybe look for them to be able to out-tough Elkins a little bit.
Very good. Kristin, appreciate it, and please continue to check theedpost.com for all the latest sports news on our local teams and the Mountaineers. Thanks for joining us.